What's up guys, welcome to my channel. To start things off, I have an anime rap channel called Sensei Beats. I've posted a few anime raps there and I'll continue to post more and more. You should check it out, your support and feedback would be much appreciated. Secondly, there's my Discord server, and if you want to join an active otaku community where there are regular anime quizzes and stuff like that, you should consider joining it. The links to both the channel and the server will be down in the description box down below. Anyways, back to the video. Today's video is about some overpowered characters, and even though we'll be going mainstream, I have also included one or two exceptions, just so you can find some new anime to watch. Also, we won't be taking into account anime characters like Goku, Luffy, Naruto, because even though they may be overpowered when we compare them to characters from other anime, they can't be considered overpowered in their own anime, because there's always a stronger antagonist waiting to hunt their ass down, even if it's only for a little while until they find a way to surpass their limits. Well then, shall we begin? First off on our list is Charlotte. The main character, who has a handsome face, 𝐜𝐴T𝐚𝐧𝐬𝐭, is a teenage boy who's not just a pretty face, but also pretty smart. On the surface, he looks like the kind of guy who can always care less about the people around him, and judging from how the anime starts, that's exactly how he is. But he's a big softie when it comes to his little sister though. He also has a hidden ability that allows him to slip into anybody else's body for as long as 5 seconds. Now, 5 seconds might not seem like a pretty long time to some people, but for you, it's exactly what he needs. He can use his ability to watch under some cute girl's skirt, or even get the highest score on a certain exam. But if there's one thing he doesn't know, then that is he's not the only one who has supernatural abilities. There are other teenagers too, and luckily he gets to meet them sooner than later. Now, that's more or less how the anime begins. In the next episode, some event will take place that will ultimately make you the strongest person on the planet. And up next we got Mob Psycho 100. Now, this anime is the perfect combination of slice of life, action, comedy, and some of the best characters you've ever seen. As a matter of fact, if you want to recommend your normie friend an anime to watch, Mob Psycho could probably be a good starting point. Now, there's a reason why this anime seems so simple on the outside, yet so enticing when you watch it. It's because Mob Psycho's manga was created by the same author as the one who did One Punch Man. And no matter how you look at it, or how you nitpick it, you can't disagree that these two stories are terrifyingly epic. Now, what is Mob Psycho about? Well, the plot centers around an 8th grader boy named Shigeo Kagayama. He was born as a psychic, and even though he has enough power to turn the world upside down, all he wants to do is have a normal life and somehow find the courage to confess his feelings to his longtime crush. When he was a little bit younger, he got too concerned about his supernatural powers, and showed up at Reigen Arataka's office. And that's basically where the trouble began. Reigen is a pretty cool character though. And up next we got Assassination Classroom. Imagine being so fast you can give even sound a run for its money. Assassination Classroom is an anime that some people consider too childish, but for those of us who are still kids at heart, this anime will always have a place in it. Koro Sensei taught us how to laugh, cry, inspire, desire, and to show everyone who's boss. Unlike most other action plus school anime, who take place at a high school, this anime takes place in a middle school. There's a very prestigious school, and those students who happen to be a little bit different from others are cast aside to a different classroom that is a little further away from the school's building. This classroom has all sorts of students, and most of them have unusual circumstances. When the school year begins, they get a new teacher. Now, this teacher is a being who will destroy the world in a year, but if the students can assassinate him before then, they can not only save the world, but they will also get a stupid amount of money as a reward. Now, we all know where that ends. Let's move on to the next one. It's getting a bit sad. And up next we got One Punch Man. It's the One Punch Man. I wonder if all of us just start doing 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and 10-kilometer runs every single day. We might even be able to counter the zombie apocalypse that's going to happen at the end of this year. I'm just kidding. Or am I? Nothing beats an epic moment that can get your heart racing, and One Punch Man just does that every single time. Unlike Goku and the other main characters, who always have to exceed their limits, Saitama has no limits. It's hilarious how the world doesn't even know of their greatest hero. Even the second season ended without him ever getting acknowledged by the people. Now if you guys also didn't like the animation of the second season like me, you should definitely consider checking out the manga. The art alone can give you goosebumps. Like seriously, the one who does the artwork, Yusuke Murata, is a monster. If you want to continue from where the second season ended, then you should start from the 80th chapter, or chapter 84 if you want to start from exactly where the season ended. And up next we got 𝐜𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐬𝐭 Ultimate. Unlike the last 4 anime, I wouldn't recommend this one to any 12-year-old. The main character, named 𝐜𝐴𝐼𝐶, is everyone's worst nightmare. Just like Saitama, his fights are always so boring because none of the enemies can even put up a single decent struggle. There are also some hardcore gore scenes in every single fight, so you can say this anime kinda gives you the creeps. Anyways, let's talk about the plot. There are dark creatures, like vampires, that come out at night. They can devour any and every human they see in a blink of an eye. To counter these creatures, there's an organization called 𝐜𝐿𝐴𝐶. This organization has a decent army for going up against these dark creatures. But that's not where the real strength lies. They have an ultimate weapon, who's a vampire called 𝐴𝐿𝐴𝐶. He destroys everyone who opposes 𝐜𝐿𝐴𝐶. It doesn't even matter if their intentions are good or evil. Also, even though this anime is only 10 episodes long, each episode is about 50 minutes long, so there's definitely enough to keep you awake all night, if you haven't watched it already. And next up, we have Overlord. Isekai is a very broad and flexible genre indeed. Just be a little original with your approach and you can turn up with something like Overlord. It's such a shame that only about a third of all the isekai anime out there are actually considered good. Anyways, this anime begins with the final hours of a very popular virtual reality game begins. A guy named Momonga has made a lot of memories playing the game over the years, so he decides to spend some time in the game until the server shut down. However, even when the game's last few moments end, Momonga still happens to be inside of the game. And not just that, but the in-game characters have developed will and personality of their own. And that's when Momonga realizes that he's no longer just in a game. This is his new life. And then he decides to go on a whim and that he's going to take control of the entire world. So he goes from being the protagonist of the story to becoming the main quote-unquote antagonist. Just like that. And next up we got Tensei Shitara Slime Dataken, also known as That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Now this anime has quite a number of wholesome moments in it. The main character is a stupidly overpowered slime. His main skill is the power to devour anything and then mimic its abilities as well as appearance. Sounds simple, and it is. But it's also the skill that leads him to easily defeating every single enemy he faces. So, how did the main character get reincarnated as a slime? Well, he used to be a 37-year-old corporate worker named Satoru Mikami. He liked his uneventful life, but was never able to get a single girlfriend in his 37 years of life. And then, when his colleague is showing off his girlfriend in front of him, he gets stabbed and dies, but only after telling his colleague to dispose of his hard drive by putting it in the bath. And so he dies, and then gets reincarnated as a slime. He uses his charisma and kind personality to win people over, and slowly but surely starts building a kingdom for everyone to live peacefully. There are a lot of happy moments in this anime, yet there are a few sad ones too. Plus, the second season has already been announced, it's coming early next year, so we'll see where the journey can take us. And coming in at third place we have Medaka Box. Next comes Medaka Kurikami, and I'm telling you, her Pai put many hentai to shame. And what's even more interesting is the fact that she isn't even a bit embarrassed about showing off her young body to anyone. She can just strip right in front of a guy, no problem. That's her personal problem. I shouldn't be judging her for that. Anyways, she is beautiful, intelligent, athletic, and then of course there's her Pai. Her dream is to make other people happy. And that's why she runs for the student council elections, and she wins with 98% of the votes. After becoming the president, she sets up a box where students can put any sort of request they want, and whenever the student council fulfills a request, she adds flowers to the student council room. Now let's talk about what makes her so overpowered, and it's definitely not just her Pai. She's capable of mastering abnormal or even impossible feats without a hitch, and then she can use them to 120% of their capability. Of course, everything I've said is not the true extent of Medaka Kurikami's potential, you'll have to watch the anime to see that. Magi, Sinbad no Boken. The Magi anime previously only had 2 seasons, and then in 2016 it received a prequel, which sheds light upon the story of the strongest Magi character yet. It begins with his birth, and how he grows up to be a lovely yet heroic teenager. Then how he conquers his first dungeon and decides that he's going to create a country of his own, and then ultimately change the world. Sinbad can also flirt with girls as smoothly as a chocolate smoothie. Anyways, if you guys are new to the Magi series, there are 2 routes you can take. You can either start with the first 2 seasons and then come to this prequel, or you can start with the prequel and then move on to the sequels. But Magi is an anime worth watching. As for what makes him overpowered, well, just like the previous anime, you'll have to find out when you watch it. And finally, number 1. 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐬𝐭. This anime is about 2 childhood friends, 𝐒𝐡𝐚 and 𝐒𝐡𝐻𝐭. 𝐒𝐡𝐚 is a frail little girl who isn't very intelligent, and 𝐒𝐡𝐻𝐭 on the other hand is somewhat smart, and even gets good grades. And the overpowered main character in this is 𝐒𝐡𝐚. So how did a frail little girl who spent most of her life being hospitalized turn into an overpowered monster? Well, I won't tell you the entire story, but it goes like this. One day, 𝐒𝐡𝐻𝐭 and his friends are out to Sapporo to buy gifts for their girlfriends, because the town they live in isn't all that fancy. Suddenly, a war breaks out, and thousands of people are killed in the blink of an eye. Even one of 𝐒𝐡𝐻's friends die. In the middle of it all, 𝐒𝐡𝐻 spots 𝐒𝐡𝐚, who would now become the ultimate weapon. Well, there you go guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like and a comment, and if you're new to the channel, you could always consider turning that red subscribe button grey. I post regular content like this every other day or so, and yeah, without further ado, see you guys in my next video. Until then, stay safe and watch anime.
さあやろうか